Our top focus remains on the Kolkata horror, which is in the Supreme Court for a second day. Justice Pardiwala said that the kind of criminal procedure followed by the West Bengal police in the case is shocking. That the kind of work conducted is something that hasn't been seen in 30 years. The top court has asked multiple questions. One being, why was there a delay in filing an FIR by the police? Two, why a post-mortem before the FIR on unnatural death? Three, isn't the post-mortem only done if the death is unnatural? Four, why is the conduct of the assistant superintendent so doubtful? Five, the crime scene has been secured only after the post-mortem. Essentially, the Chief Justice of India, the Supreme Court, has taken serious note of tampering with the crime scene, asking how the post-mortem report could precede the registration of the case. The Supreme Court also said about the case diary that it appears that some pages were inserted later, telling the CBI to look into this. The SG, Tushar Mehta, says that the victim's family suspected a cover-up, and the FIR in the case was registered at 11 p.m. after the cremation. The CJI has requested doctors to return to work, saying that they must stop their protests and strikes. The top court also further said that hearts go out to those who visit hospitals with ailments. Beyond this, the senior advocate, Geeta Luthra, who is appearing for the RG medical junior resident doctors, has stated that they are still being terrorized at this point, are living in fear as they are reportedly being targeted.
Let them first come back to work, and then if there's any difficulty, just talk to us in the court here. We'll make sure that there's no adverse action against the doctors. Very well. We quite see that they were all upset about the fact that there was a serious incident which took place. The directors of these institutions,
he made a
they also have their heart with the doctors, but they are in a situation where poor people who come to institutions cannot be left behind in the lurch.
And the
one of the points which, that one para where I say this is a non-exhaustive list, it specifically says that they are made to work for 36 hours. And one more thing, we have said, we have referred to working conditions in general, which includes the work. So please assure the doctors, we are as concerned about them, that they have to work for 36 hours.
Yes.
All of us have also had family members, relatives. We have gone to public hospitals.
Yes.
I have slept on the floor of a public hospital when somebody in the family was not well. So we have gone through that. And you observe all of them working for 36 hours.
Now, the senior advocate, Geeta Luthra, who is appearing for the RG medical junior resident doctors, has stated that they are still being terrorized and are living in fear as they are reportedly being targeted at the hospital by officials and goons. The CBI has submitted their status report. This is what they were ordered to do 2 days ago when the Supreme Court had begun hearing the case. Now, the Supreme Court judges have lambasted the West Bengal police's probe, the Kolkata police's probe, saying that the way that work has been conducted is something that hasn't been seen in 30 years. That is one of the key statements that has been made by the top court in connection with this case. All right, crossing over to my colleague Shreya now at this point. Shreya, one of the things that the Supreme Court has said is that they've once again requested that the doctors resume work at this point, saying that their hearts are going out to those who are ailing. But we're also hearing big statements being made, big criticisms of the Kolkata police and the work that has been conducted. Let us know about the significance of all of these statements.
Well, right now we're reporting live from Autopsy Medical College and Hospital, the epicenter of the entire protest. Now you can see that young doctors, resident doctors, they're sitting here. They were monitoring the Supreme Court hearing. Let me first go across to them with that question you asked, that the strike has been asked by the Supreme Court to call off. I want to come to you. Supreme Court today have requested the doctors to call off the strike and to resume work, says the special task force will take the grievances. How do you react to it?
I cannot comment now because the hearing is still going on. After hearing the complete hearing, we'll hold a GB and we'll chalk out a plan of action accordingly.
So, of course, you can hear from the resident and the young doctors. They say that right now they won't comment as the hearing is still continuing. After the hearing is done, they will do a general body meeting where they will chalk out a plan. You can also see that a screen has been installed on the side here, and this is the Dharna Manch where the doctors are sitting and they are looking at the Supreme Court hearing as it proceeds live. Now, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, like you were mentioning, of course, we see Supreme Court slams the West Bengal government and the role of the police. There are many pertinent questions which the Supreme Court have asked at this point in time. Why there was a delay in filing the FIR number 1, number 2 before registering a FIR as unnatural death. There was a post-mortem that was conducted. How is it possible to conduct a post-mortem before a natural death FIR is lodged? This is the second question which the Supreme Court have asked. They have also asked why the crime scene was not secured. And remember, as far as the CBI is concerned, they have clearly said that there is an attempt of cover-up. They have tampered with the crime scene. So, of course, big statements coming from the CBI and the Supreme Court. But all eyes on the final verdict of the Supreme Court, because then the doctors will hold a GB meeting and decide whether to call off the strike or not.
Shreya, do stay with us. There's one aspect of what's taken place in court, some of the arguments being made, the observations being made. One thing that has been mentioned by senior advocate Geeta Luthra. Now, she, of course, is appearing for the RGK Medical Junior Resident Doctors. One thing that has been stated is that they are reporting that they're still being terrorized, are living in fear. They're being targeted at the hospital by officials and goons itself. So how is the West Bengal government responding to this? How have the authorities and administration overall, how are they responding to this?
Well, of course, we have to see how the authorities will respond to it, because it is just before some time that the Supreme Court, this hearing was going on and this statement has been made. The Council for Doctors for the Arjikar Hospital have said that the students are threatened, they feel terrified and they are being threatened, and this is done by many from the hospital authorities. So, of course, we see that there is a lot of fear. There is a fear psychosis which is there in the students. Before this also they have said the same thing, that until and unless all the accused in the case is arrested, they cannot call off the strike, because they believe it cannot be a one-man job and more people are involved and they want all the accused to be brought to book. So we will have to see how the state government will respond to it at this point in time.
Now, considering at the RGK hospital itself, the CISF has taken security as per... All right, crossing over to my colleague Harish at this point.
By senior advocate Kapil Sibal. One of the very most significant observation being that the kind of criminal procedure followed in this particular case, Justice Pardiwala said that he has not witnessed it in 30 years of his career. He asked how the post-mortem proceeded, registration of unnatural death, and reminded Kapil Sibal that post-mortem is done only in a case of unnatural death, and in this case it is very apparent from the record that the unnatural death was registered 8 hours after the post-mortem was done. What kind of criminal procedure is this? And when Kapil Sibal did not have any clear answer, the Supreme Court said that it might be forced to summon a senior police official who had seen all these exercises, like the crime scene, noting the crime scene, inquest, post-mortem, and also registration of unnatural death. And he will have to come to the Supreme Court on the date of hearing and answer the questions, all these questions. As far as the Chief Justice is concerned, Chief Justice has raised several questions as to tampering of the crime scene, and also asked why there was attempt to secure the crime scene after the post-mortem, when at 10:10 a.m. itself, the hospital had registered an unnatural death case. So several questions being asked by the Supreme Court to the West Bengal government as
All right, that was my colleague Harish letting us know more about the significant statements that have been made in the Supreme Court. Remember, the Supreme Court hearing is still underway, but the bench has risen for lunch at this point. Let's cross over to my colleague Bhavtosh to guess more. Bhavtosh, we're just taking our viewers through very significant statements that have been made, very significant observations as well that have been made by the top court in connection with the hearing. One thing that they've also recently said is that the case diary, it appears that some pages were missing from the case diary itself and some were were inserted later on. The CBI is now going to be investigating this angle. We also know that the CBI had been directed by the Supreme Court to essentially give a status report on the investigation that has been submitted. The court is going to it. Let us know about what's going on the probe front.
Well, as far as the probe is concerned, it's 9 days and CBI has also, like Kolkata police, only managed to arrest one accused, that is Sanjay Roy. Sanjay Roy has been arrested first by the Kolkata police and then his custody was handed over to the CBI. CBI has been questioning him. There have been psychological tests that have been carried on him, and CBI has requested that a polygraph test should be conducted on him, and the court has granted that. Riveting court drama is presently on in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, in fact, asked why the FIR was filed after the postmortem was conducted, to which senior advocate Kapil Sibal, who is representing the West Bengal government, he said that after the parents said that the FIR will be filed only once give a go-ahead, they had no option but to wait that the father gives a go-ahead, and then the FIR was registered. Then there is this controversy about the general diary entry and also the entry in the case diary. CBI has said that the government has said that there was an entry made in the inquest proceeding which states the as 10:10 of the body being found, whereas the CBI insists that the scene of crime has been altered, which has been vehemently denied by the West Bengal government, by the senior advocate Kapil Sibal. But it's now very clear that the SIT report, the status report, in fact, that has been submitted in the seal cover, does mention that the scene of crime has been altered. Will it affect the investigation? Ultimately, only time will tell, because the charge sheet has to be submitted in the court within the stipulated time of 90 days. Apart from Sanjay Roy, CBI is presently questioning the former principal of RG Kar Medical College. He is being questioned for seventh day. 76 hours has passed since he's being questioned. CBI is questioning him for 2 or 3 reasons. One is that the scene of crime has been, in fact, dressed up. That's what sources have said. The second is one of the assistant super have told the parents initially that their daughter has fallen ill, and later, within minutes, he said that the daughter has died by suicide. He completely denied these charges, saying that these are the theories that have been floated in the media. He's also being questioned about the renovation work that has been carried out in the hospital. He also denies that. He has said that these are charges that have been leveled against him and nothing to do with that. Apart from all this, the assistant superintendent of sub-inspector of police, Anup Datta, he is also being questioned for this third time by the CBI. He's one who is said to be very close to the prime accused in this case.
Bhavtosh, beyond this, what are your sources telling you about what's going to be taking place in the state of West Bengal, considering everything that's taking place? Now, with the fact that the Supreme Court is, of course, putting the onus on the West Bengal government for a very shoddy probe that's been conducted, that's essentially why it was also handed over to the CBI, what kind of changes are going to be made? What do you know about?
Well, as far as CBI is concerned, CBI has said that over 42 witnesses, their statements have been recorded, including including Sandeep Ghosh. He continues to be a person of interest as far as the federal probe agency is concerned. They recorded the statement of the 4 colleagues of the victim. Their statement have been recorded. Remember, she had a dinner which was ordered through an online aggregator. She had a meal at around midnight, after which one of the witnesses, he claimed that he saw her sleeping at around 3 a.m. at around 3 a.m. in the morning, and that was a person who last saw her. CBI, in fact, had recorded statements of several individuals, including the construction workers who were near the renovation work that was being carried out at the seminar hall. Importantly, they have also recorded the statement of forensic doctors who carried out the autopsy work. The CBI has submitted their status report, claiming that this is the first status report. More has to be done, and they will keep on filing the status report not only here in the Apex Court, if need be, also Calcutta High Court, and tomorrow the custody of the main accused in this case will be getting over. One has to wait and see whether CBI will seek further custody, but custody of an individual gets over within 14 days, but it's likely CBI will be trying for further custody of the main accused.
Speaking of the main accused, let's also talk about the ex-principal of RJK, Sandeep Ghosh, who's also, of course, been under the spotlight with the CBI. He's being quizzed today for the 7th straight day. He's been quizzed for at least and grilled for at least 70 hours at this point. But there are concerns about the statements that he's making. Reports are saying that he's making certain discrepancies in his statements. There seem to be loopholes in timelines. Let us know about what's taking place in the investigation on that front.
But he continues to be a person of interest. Is someone who has been under the scanner, not only of CBI, but there is an FIR that has been filed against him by the Kolkata police. Kolkata police have now accused him of financial bungling and corruption. Remember, as soon as he had resigned from the post of principal of Archikar Medical College, he was immediately given another important posting, and it only because of scathing remarks that were in fact made by the Calcutta High Court, which led him to go on a long leave. So he is under scanner of not only CBI but also of the Kolkata police. CBI suspect that he is in fact hiding the truth. There is something. There are discrepancies in his statement, but he says these are that whatever allegations are being leveled on him are not that he has been cooperating with investigating agencies. When he was specifically asked about his presence in the seminar room when the police had arrived, he said as a principal, he was duty bound to be present here, and that he had not tampered with any evidence. He also said that the renovation work that was carried out near the seminar hall, that was already decided days ahead, and there was nothing, there was no foul play. But because of the fact that certain inconsistencies have been found in his statement, he continues to be questioned by the CBI.
Now, what are the changes that the West Bengal government has made when it comes to the administration, the officials being removed in RJK Medical College?
Well, some of them have been removed. This was the main demand of the students who are on strike at RJK Medical College, and even in the hearing that took place today, one of the councils who was representing the students, and she in fact said that they fear that there will be, in fact, there could be serious action taken against them, to which the Solicitor General said that they can approach them. Their identity will be hidden. They will be given protection by the CISF, and the Supreme Court, in fact, the bench of Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, said when a detailed order will be passed, he will be keeping in mind this apprehension that was given by the council who was representing the students of the medical college, because she in fact said that there are several junior doctors and doctors who are on strike. They fear that there could be some kind of retaliatory action against them by officials of the medical college. So there are students who, and as well as doctors and resident doctors, who in fact who have now approached the Supreme Court, and this matter was taken up by the Supreme Court, and the Solicitor General had said that they can approach the center and the CISF, and adequate protection and security will be given to them.
All right. Now, considering that you've also been on the ground, you've been covering whatever has been taking place when it comes to the CBI probe as well. What can we expect now that the CBI has submitted their report to the Supreme Court? What are the next steps in this procedure?
Well, CBI has submitted its first report, or the first report. It's in a sealed cover, and this was mentioned by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, and if need be, they have said that another report will be submitted. Remember, the inquiry or the investigations have been handed over to CBI by the Calcutta High Court. So within 3 weeks, they have to submit a report there also, and CBI will be doing so. And this report will be submitted by the Calcutta High Court and to Calcutta High Court, and CBI has to also file a charge sheet against the main accused in this case, that Sanjay Roy. They have been carrying out a psychological test on him, and these tests are being carried out by the forensic expert. Over 42 witnesses and one accused have been subjected to some forensic test, and they have also in fact recorded the statements. And forensic teams are present there. There have been mapping of the crime scene. Various teams are carrying out various tests. Recording of statements are going on. So it's an extensive probe that is being carried out. Professional investigation is being done, but the fact of the matter is that despite 9 days of investigation by CPI and also 4 days of investigation by the Kolkata police, one arrest have been made, though there has been a clamor by many doctors and parents of the victim that there could be more than one accused, whereas CBI suspect that there could only be one accused as far as this case is concerned.
All right, Bhavtosh, thank you so much for giving us such a comprehensive report of what exactly is taking place here. But right now, we're going to listen into some more statements that have been made in the Supreme Court.
There should be a portal where suggestions can be given to the committee, even anonymously, without disclosure of identity.
Yes, Your Honor.
Point well taken. Noted.
Not
This is something which even the criminal procedure code doesn't prescribe.
Yes, exactly.
The entire procedure
Yeah.
which has been followed by your police,
Yes.
police of the state, it is something which I have not come across
yes.
in 30 years of my.
I know. Right. I appreciate it. But the facts must be before your lordship's mind. That's the important thing. The real
The
facts.
first thing we want to confirm
Yes.
is it true that the UD case was registered at 23:30 hours and that the postmortem and everything preceded the registration of the UD case?
No, mother.
All right, now let's also take a look at the probe updates in connection with the Kolkata murder case. The relationship between the accused Sanjay Roy and the ASI Anup Datta is under investigation, with Datta being questioned about his alleged closeness with the accused. Additionally, there are concerns about potential loopholes in the report timelines and statements that are being made. The ex-principal of RG Kar Hospital, Sandeep Ghosh, is being questioned by the CBI for the 7th consecutive day. In fact, we had earlier spoken to my colleague Bhavtosh about this, and he has been questioned for at least 70 hours until this point. Now, the West Bengal government has removed some of the top RG Kar Medical College officials amid protests. Includes Dr. Sarita Paul, who was appointed as the new principal of RG Kar on the 12th of August. She has been sacked. Dr. Bulbul Mukhopadhyay, hospital superintendent, and Dr. Arunamba Chaudhary, the head of the chest department at the RG Kar Medical College, has also been transferred.